Back in the arena, back with March of the Machines Aftermath Draft. Slight power creep, a little bit of extra power in these packs. So every March of the Machine pack has a legendary bonus sheet card, and every one of these packs on Arena has one Aftermath card, which can also be a rare. So you can open a lot of rares in these packs. Our rare here, though, is Drana and Linvala. 4 mana, 3/4 flying Vigilance. Your opponent's activated abilities can't be activated, and then they take all of the activated abilities from their creatures. It prevents things from flipping. Pretty interesting card for sure. Other than that, we have Finn, which is fine. There's a couple Death Touchers. I'm thinking about taking Alabaster Host Intercessor or Mirror Shield Hoplite. Mirror Shield Hoplite lets you double backup triggers, and in the red-white deck, it's very oppressive. Gives you a lot of direction, honestly. I really do like Scornblade Berserker as a way to sacrifice away early creatures for value, but Mirror Shield Hoplite is very strong if you have the deck for it. Invasion of Call Time. When it enters, exile your hand, draw that many cards, and then until your next turn you can play the cards you exiled from your hand. So it's basically like a wheel for the size of your hand minus this card. And then if you flip this, it turns all lands in your hand into deal 2 damage to any target, and whenever you discard a card, exile the top card of your library, you can play it. Very strong rare. Thalad's decent as a turn 2, turn 3 flip play. These Phyrexian costed cards are pretty common in this format. There's one of every pair. This one's pretty decent because you play it on turn 2 and then immediately have something to do with it on turn 3, because when you flip it, it makes a 1/1, and when it dies, it makes a 1/1. It's a pretty easy direction. Bolus Slinger is a backup card. Put a 1/1 counter, and then when it attacks, tap an artifact or creature your opponent controls when it attacks. I'll take Invasion of Call Time here. It's plenty good in this set. Into Narset? Whoa. Narset's crazy. All creatures you control have prowess, just straight up. And then whenever they attack, exile target, essentially non-creature spell from a graveyard, so including your opponent's. Copy it, you can cast that card without paying its mana cost. Alternatively, we can take Invasion of Regatha. This is the battle that blows up battles. So it deals 4 to a battle, which immediately flips our Invasion of Call Time, and 1 to a creature. There are a decent number of creatures in this format that Invasion of Regatha kills. I'm kind of leaning on just taking it and going a super aggressive red deck, because this 4 damage can also go face. I think I'm going to do this. I like Narset a lot, but I don't really want to be playing 3 colors in red-white as my base, and Invasion of Regatha goes so well with the rare we took in Invasion of Call Time. Also, I might not be white, right? Mirror Shield Hoplite's good, but we could very easily be like red-green battles right now. Realmbreaker's fun. This is another mill win condition card. It's very slow, but if you have the time, it kind of takes over the game. It's a 3-mana artifact that you pay 2, make an opponent mill 3, and then put a land from their graveyard under your control. And then it has the bonus effect of pay 10, sacrifice it, search for Praetors. That's like the Urabrask, Jingataxis, all of those rares, and put them onto the battlefield. Not really for us. Skyclave Aerialist is a decent just flyer beater, and if you flip it, it's a pretty decent win condition. During Brood Warden, though, pulls a lot of weight in these early, kind of aggressive decks. It's just an early backup creature that moves its counters around really well, and having, multiple early plays is pretty important for the deck. So I think I'm going to take that and just see, sticking with the Mirror Shield Hoplite doesn't hurt me really at all. Hey, Pylanar, Invasion of Call Time is one of the few ways to actually do Pylanar things. Whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, make a Thopter, and then they give all Thopters haste. However, there's an Invasion of Mercadia in this pack. When it enters, discard and draw. It's super important to the Battles deck. Tiller Flesh is also interesting. Whenever you cast a spell that targets anything, you make a 2/2 Incubate. And Sunder the Gateway is a decent 2-drop. I think we'll take the rare here. 2-mana 2/3 is also just good for backup things. We already have one good way to use the backup. Also, casting spells from exile does work with flipped battles, because the way it works is when you beat the battle, you get to cast the backside for free, but the first thing that happens is you exile it. So every time you flip a battle, you make a Thopter. Reckless Handling. This is from the Aftermath side. I don't actually know what it does. Search for an artifact, reveal it, put it in your hand, then discard a card at random. If you discard an artifact, deal 2 damage to each opponent. Terrible. Okay. Invasion of Kylum. When it enters, up to 2 target creatures get +2/+0, Vigilance, and Haste. And when it flips, you immediately make 2 3/2s with whenever 2 tokens attack, they put 1/1 counters on each other, basically. This card goes crazy. You need a lot of little dorks to use it well, but if you curve out and then play this, you kind of just are so far ahead, it's absurd. And it looks like we're really in on the battle thing. Lithomatic Barrage is okay. Spell can't be countered. Deal 1 to a creature or planeswalker, or 5 if it's white or blue. It's kind of a sideboard card more often than not. I'm going to very contentedly take a rare here. A 7th pick, Captain Lannery Storm. Tie everything together. 3 mana, 2/2 haste. Whenever it attacks, make a treasure. Sack treasures to give it extra power. It's actually whenever you sack a treasure, so if you use the treasure naturally on your main phase, it's just bigger when it attacks. Pretty good. We could take a number 1 drop. Not really the bestest here. I'm not taking Yargle Matani. 2 mana, 1/2. This creature pumps itself for 2, and when it dies, you incubate. I like this card because it wears backup really well. So you put a bunch of counters on it, and then when it dies, eventually you make a big backup token. It also is just a good, efficient 2-drop. Hey, we almost first picked this Alabaster Host Intercessor. In a lot of modern sets, there are these common cycle of Plains Cycler, Island Cycler, 1 for each color, right? This one is something else. This is a 6 mana 3/4. It's an O-ring on a creature. For only a creature, but it's just a removal spell on a land cycler is usually pretty good. So we're going to really happily take that. Happy it wheeled. I think that's a pretty big sign. Scroll Shift's great for the backup deck, being able to re-backup things at instant speed. You exile an artifact, creature, or enchantment you control, return it to the battlefield immediately afterward, and then draw a card. It doesn't trigger Pine-Nolar because it says whenever you play a land or cast a spell. Alternatively, there is a Shatter of a Source. Instant, deal 6 to a creature, planeswalker, or battle, destroy target artifact. I'm going to take Scroll Shift here. And Marauding Dreadship goes great in our super aggressive deck. I don't really like either of these equipment very much. I think I like the Bane Splitter a little better because it's a combat trick at least. Something to do with our mana, instant speed. Doesn't win combat ever, but I'm probably not playing either of these cards. I very well could play a Beat Stick. Beamtown, Beat Stick, +1/+0, and Menace. We'll take the Aftermath card we're not playing here real quick. +1/+0 and Menace to a creature for 2, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player or battle, make a treasure. Yeah, goes pretty hard. Oh, here, this is a pretty fun mythic. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, each opponent loses 2 and you gain 2. And you can sack a creature to draw a card and put an extra land into play. And if you have 8 lands when you do this, you get to do it twice. Pretty fun card, very far from what we're doing here. I'm looking at Cut Short as just an efficient removal spell. Valduk is at the beginning of combat for each aura and equipment on them. You make a 3/1 with Trample and Haste that gets exiled at your end step. Not really for us. Shivan Branchburner's really for the red-blue Convoke deck. It's pretty hard to get this out early enough for it to be relevant, but a 4/4 Flying Haste is pretty good, even if you're doing it a little slower. But I think for here, for me, I'm just really content taking a solid common removal spell. It's nothing too flashy. The best cards in this pack, Sculptor's good, Agent's great, Invasion of Urgamon's good, and then I think Cut Short's probably one of the next best ones. City on Fire, 7 mana, makes all of your damage be triple. Pretty good, out of nowhere, slam dunky kind of card. But honestly, I'm looking at one of these backup cards. The 3 mana 2/1, whenever this becomes tapped, you can discard to draw, goes really well in what we're already doing. This black-white rare, exile a graveyard, sacrifice it, humans get hexproof and indestructible, sure. A lot of these Aftermath cards are like really niche to a specific thing. And as a result, they're very awkward. Like some of them are total bombs and some of them are like this, where it's like it's just kind of a 2/2 most decks. I'm going to take the Scrounger here over the Aeronaut and the Slinger. Lower my curve a little bit more and just give me a good backup thing to do on turn 3 after playing a turn 2 card. Whoa, Kogla Nudaro is a bomb. 6 mana, 7/7. When it enters, you either give it trample or haste, or you have it fight something. And you can pay for and discard this to destroy an artifact or enchantment and put this back into your library. It's a pretty powerful card. Pretty far from what we're doing. I'm tempted to take just another cut short, honestly, here. It's looking like maybe we're getting cut off a little bit on like white or red, which means pack 3 will get our rewards back. Aerial Boost is a pretty important combat trick in this format to just be aware of, because it can be 0 mana off of Convoke. I'm going to take a Bolas Slinger here. Invasion of Asgul is really oppressive. Turn 2, make an opponent sack whatever their turn 2 play was, and that flips into a super relevant body. Filter out, return all non-creature, non-land permanents to their owner's hands. Weird. And we're very far away from Umori, where each non-land card in your starting deck shares a card type. Yeah, it's not happening for us. Bolas Slinger is a free roll. It's very likely to make my deck, I would say. Zada. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery, if it targets only Zada, copy it for each other creature you control. Really fun card with like the +2/+2 and flying. You target Zada, and you give your whole board +2/+2 and flying. It's a pretty blowout kind of situation. It is spell or instant sorcery, so we really are far from it, but we can scroll shift everything to draw cards basically equal to the number of creatures we have. I'll just take a Sunder of a Great Gateway. Worst case scenario, Sunder of the Gateway is a 2 mana 2/2, and best case scenario, it blows up a relevant artifact or enchantment and then gives you the play afterward. Ren's Resolve is another way to exile cards for our Pioneer. I'm a fan of that. Exile the top 2, you can play them until the end of your next turn. Another Reckless Handling, garbage. I mean, I'll take the only card that I can even play, I guess. Infected Defector. It's a 5 mana 4/3, and when it dies, you incubate. Pretty far from what we're doing. Invasion of Dominaria. Gain 4 life and draw a card, and then it flips into a Serra Angel. I think here I'm just going to do a Searing Barb. It's a pretty weak card. Honestly, I'm tempted to take the Invasion. But the problem is with this Invasion, it doesn't flip off of Invasion of Regatha, which deals 4. And that makes me nervous. I think I'll take 2 damage to any target. I might not play it. Alright, here's our wheel. Still not as exciting as I'd like it to be for sure. I'll take the Javeliner. It's a nice top-end card that I'm actually possibly going to play. I'll take the City on Fire to signal. I'm almost certainly not playing it. It's just too slow. I'll take the Aftermath card to build the collection for it, since I don't actually have Aftermath cards, I guess. Alright, we're really filling up our deck here, so we're going to have plenty of cuts to be able to make. Some of the weaker cards in our deck at the moment include the Searing Barb, the Beat Stick, and the Javelineer. I'll take an Aerial Boost, I guess. That's also on the weaker side for what we have right now. I'll take the 2 mana 2/3. I don't know. Just take a card. Not playing any of this. Not playing the Scrap Chomper. Very, very unlikely I am, at least. If you're playing Beat Stick, it's better to be playing like some of these 1-drops and things. Beat Stick actually goes really well with it because it makes treasures that you can then sacrifice for cards, but... Ooh, Borgorymnos and Flibbleflip. 5 mana, 6/5. When it enters and or attacks, draw a card, discard any number of lands. When you discard cards this way, it deals twice that much damage to a creature, and then you can protect it by putting it 3rd from the top. We also opened every card in your deck has to be a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast companion. Not really happening. And Rocco Street Chef. Beginning of your end step, each player exiles the top card of their library. Until your next end step, each player may play that card. Whenever a player plays a land from exile or casts a spell from exile, put a 1/1 counter on a creature and make a food. That could be worth splashing for, but it's not because there's a Kenra Spellsevier in the pack. This card's insane. I'll read it in a moment because it's just insane. Good. This is an easy one to pick. I'm taking a Nahiri's Warcrafting. It's a deal 5, and then however much excess you deal, you look at that many from the top. Exile 1, you may play the exiled card this turn. So often it's just a removal spell. 3 mana deal 5 is pretty good. Real quick. This is like the bane of the format. Defines games because it's one of the flippy guys that you play it on turn 2 and you can flip it on turn 3. If your opponent doesn't remove this on turn 2 and you successfully flip it, your win percentage of that game skyrockets. Because it's a 2-mana 2/2 trample prowess on the front, but it flips into a 3-mana trample ward 2 prowess. Yes, you read that right. Double prowess means that when you cast an instant or a non-creature spell, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. And with the ward 2, it just runs away with the game. Speaking of cards that run away with the game, Urabrask is nasty. 4-mana 4/4 first strike. Hello. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, deal 1 damage to each opponent and add a red. Hello. And then if you've cast 3 instant or sorceries, you can pay a red to flip them into a battle that kind of just goes crazy. Or, sorry, a saga that goes crazy, and then it turns back into a creature. There's one for each of these with different conditions for when they flip. Urabrask's is probably one of the hardest to flip in Limited, but it's also just a 4-mana 4/4 that makes all of your instant sorceries ping your opponent. Wooburg, here we go. Niv Mizzet Supreme, hexproof from monocolored instant sorceries that have 2 colors have Jumpstart, which means you can discard a land to cast them. Pretty far from what we're doing here. I could take a Mountain Cycler, but I really like Redcap Heel Slasher. 4-mana 2/3 first strike backup. Kind of win a combat on the turn it comes down. We're pretty far from having the knights to do knight things. We have, I think, 1 or 2. Oh, we have none. Okay. Well, the 2-mana 3/1's not for us then. And the 1-drop flippy guy is okay. It wears the counters really well and then flips into a trampler. But Heel Slasher is just great. Really big fan of the card. Okay. This is another Aftermath card, so I have to read what it does. 3-mana 3/2 haste. Whenever this attacks, look at the top 6. You may reveal a dragon and put it into your hand with the rest on the bottom. What? Why is... Like I said, these Aftermath cards are like super niche. 3-mana 3/2 haste is nothing to sneer at. But I could also just take a good 2-drop, and I think that's what I want to do. I'm leaning on the Sanctifier over a second Sunder of a Gateway. 2-mana 2/2 lifelink wears counters well and can really win the like aggro v aggro matchup. The 4-drop that I keep passing it's very okay, but it's nothing like slammable. Here I can take a land. What does this even do? Look at the top card of your library, beginning of combat, reveal it, whatever. Phyrexian Censor though is pretty funny. It really belongs in the Phyrexian deck. It makes it so you can only cast 1 Phyrexian and 1 non-Phyrexian spell each turn, which if you're casting Phyrexian spells is great. Here, I think I'm just going to take a land, honestly. I have a really solid deck. I want to make sure I can cast my spells. Another Scroll Shift, another Cut Short. I already have 2 Cut Shorts. It's a little awkward. Cut Short's like decent because it has to blow up a tapped creature, but I'll just take the Scroll Strips. I don't think I'm playing either. Oh my gosh, the Wurburg Dream could have been real for someone. Omnath Locust of All. If you lose unspent mana, it becomes black, and then it does a lot of things with multi-pipped cards. So it goes great with that Omnath. I'll take a Chomper, I guess, here. Probably not playing it. Wow, everything wheeled. Okay. Kind of want to just take the 1/1. We have no fixing at all for this Rocco, and it goes in our deck. It's absolutely a good card in our deck. But we have one way to make a treasure with Lannery Storm. I could just take a 1-drop that is a slam dunk in my deck. Thank you. But I'm not going to think too hard about this. I don't think I'm playing a Bruiser. When this attacks, give up to 1 target attacking creature +2/+7 trample, but then it goes back to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. A little bit awkward. This card's a monster. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature gets +1/+1 till end of turn. If it's attacking a battle, put a counter on it. It just goes super hard in the battles deck. Take another 1-drop here. There's a world where I play it. Take a Sunder of a Gateway. Probably not playing it. I don't think I'm playing any of these. And I think we have a deck here. Classic Vintage Cube Chef having basically a built deck going into the deck building section. If you've watched my beginner's guide, you should know that if you're drafting and you're looking on Arena, especially where you can see all your cards at once, you should have a pretty good idea most of the time. Oh, hey, we filled our vault. Pretty good idea most of the time what your deck's going to look like by the time you get to this phase. I knew this was going to be a 16 land deck from the start. So unless we have cards in our sideboard we want to switch in, This is looking pretty confidently like it's going to be the deck. Best cards in our deck by far. We have a premium removal spell. Planetary Storm is great. Urbrask is great. Invasion of Kaldheim is great. Invasion of Regatha flips our Invasion of Kaldheim, which is really nice. We didn't really get too many other things in the way of battles to flip. It doesn't fully flip Invasion of Kylum, but that's okay. You don't need to flip it instantly. What we didn't get is a Volcanic Spite. There was one in our like pack one, pick one potentially, but it's a deal 3 to anything but your opponent's face. So you can use it to kill battles. And then you can put a card on the bottom and draw a card if you do. Pretty good deck. A pretty good card for our deck, but I'm pretty happy with seeing where this ended up. Pindalar has plenty of targets. Mirror Shield Hoplite has plenty of targets or ways to trigger it. Scroll Shift seems pretty good. Is there anything in here that I might really prefer? Son of a Gateway's decent. Javelineer as like a little bit more of a top end card. It also you tap it and deal 2 damage to a player or battle, so it can be a kind of like push the game over the edge card, but it can also be a clear out a battle. We do have 3 battles that we want flipped. How hard is it for us to flip Urbrask? I believe it's probably impossible. We have a Nahiri's Warcrafting. The backside of this is a sorcery. But this is not a sorcery, so we would need multiple tapped creatures in play. Sunder of a Gateway. I'm just seeing what our full instant or sorcery count is. It's technically possible. It's really just a 4-mana 4/4 first strike that pings our opponent. So not as good as it could be. I mean, if we really wanted to flip it, we could bring in like Aerial Boost, Sunder the Gateway, Scroll Shift number 2. I don't really think that's the right play for our deck. I think that makes our deck worse trying to build around Urbrask. When a 4-mana 4/4 first strike is just going to get home a lot of the time. And the thing about this set, it has really good removal. I mean, look at our deck. We're playing red-white aggro, and we have pretty great removal. But our game plan's pretty straightforward. We want to go 1-drop, 2-drop, probably a 3-drop Saga, like Invasion of Regatha would be ideal, or just a high-quality 3-drop like Captain Planetary Storm, and then just continue to kick their teeth in. We have a lot of late-game synergy. We have to play a little bit around the board clears in the set. There's one at Rare and one at Mythic that are pretty prevalent. Sunfall and Invasion of Fiora. Trying to think if there's other full board clears other than those 2. I don't think there are. There's like a red spell that deals some amount of damage to the board. I'm blanking on it. It's been a while. But this looks like a really fun deck. As a reminder, I'm a small channel, so if you want to subscribe, it would make my day. We're over 100 and we're marching towards 250. And if we hit 250, I'm going to do another cooking video. So if you want to see me do more cooking, or you just think it's fun to watch these drafts, I'd really appreciate if you subscribed. All right, let's jump right into our first games. I have 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop. Sign me up. Obviously, we can mulligan for 1-drops, but if we're doing that, we're going to lose a lot of games. Furnace Gremlin, that's very cut shortable if you ask me. If you ask me. So they're going to offer a trade here, obviously. That is the right play. Go to combat, threaten to pump it. If I trade, I gain 2 life and they incubate 2. Or they're offering the trade the other way around. I'm going to do something funky here. I'm going to play a tapped land and just say go. I can convoke cut short. So if they do attack next turn, I can do the tradey thing. And if they want to spite this, I will be able to cut short next turn anyway. So it kind of doesn't matter to me. I could not have stopped this. I need to get this land down either way. Oh, it seems like they maybe kept a hand they really should not have here. Well, we're going to get down this Bolus Slinger. It's just a 3/3, very killable. It's possible they kept this hand because it had multiple cheap interaction like Spite. Seems like they hit an island, which I guarantee was the best draw in their deck. Into a skittering surveyor. Sure thing, buddy. How do I want to do this? Oh, well, I think the answer is very obviously that we're going to go to combat and swing for 3. Tap down Skittering Surveyor. If they want to chump block, it's got to be with the Gremlin. Well, it has no extra value. I'm going to play Kenra Spell Spear and immediately flip it. Pay for 2 life. And this is where this card has the potential to immediately take over a game. Next turn, my whole hand is non-creature spells. So they are in a spot, to say the least, here. Kenra Spell Spear is very confidently going to be able to flip Invasion of Call Time for me here. They need a removal spell through the ward, which is going to blank their whole turn if they're doing that. There's basically nothing in the set. Okay. All their stuff's unblockable. Nice, I love this card. That seems like a great candidate for me to Nahiri's Warcrafting or cut short on a future turn. Invasion of Kylum, remember, gives vigilance, so I'll be able to do attacks and then hold up cut short, which is gross. Oh, we're just going to combat? Yeah, you can have 2, buddy. Okay. Counterspell or lose. Prowess. Counter unless I pay. Oh, gosh. Okay. Yeah, this is over. I flip Invasion of Kylum. I make 2 more 3/2s. I also get to hit them with one of these because Bolas Slinger taps down the Fugitive. It's just over. Okay. I would say that's Kenra Spell Spear, but I think that really was our opponent keeping a hand that they shouldn't have. Yes, it had 2-drop. Yes, it had the Volcanic Spite, but you're putting yourself in a position where you have to not only draw a land, but it has to be blue, and it really needs to be on turn 3. They ended up drawing it on turn 4, and against red-white aggro, they lost. In my first draft on this, which came out Monday, if you haven't watched it, I suggest you go do that after this one. I talked a lot about the fact that this format has a lot of balance between the control and aggro decks. Both are very real, and both need to be respected. So building your deck requires a lot of thought, because you have to ask questions like, how do I actually beat a curve out like the one we just had? But also, how do I beat a more, control-y deck that just absolutely dominates in the late game? And both those decks need to figure out how to beat each other, too. So, we've done the control side, and now we're doing the aggro side. Rend Resolve? Yeah. Let's see what we can do next turn. Nothing. Okay. Gross. Unless we draw a mountain, we can't even cast Nahiri's Warcrafting. But honestly, these are cards I didn't really want to draw either way. I can deal 4 damage to my opponent's face. I guess. That was not a good Rend Resolve, I would say, but what are you going to do? Counterspell? There is the counter target creature or battle unless they pay 4. Change the equation. Yeah, we had fun with that last draft. Alright, goodbye lands. Or, good cards. And then we'll just play Urabrask. Ah, this card. Okay. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. Beginning of combat, you may reveal the top card. If it's a creature, this is that creature. Jeez. I'm just going to play Urabrask. Oh, it's each combat. Why would you do that? You're just giving me a free trade? Okay, well now I get in for a damage. And you also showed me what the card was. Why would you do that? That's weird. Oh, goodness gracious, Elishnorn. Whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you, I lose 2 life unless they pay 2. Okay, well, let's see if they hit another thing. Elishnorn's such a bomb. Sacrifice 3 other creatures, exile this, and then it just wins the game. So if they ever have 3 other creatures, we basically lose. Oh, goodness. Do not block. Just take the damage. No. Okay. Well. Welcome to March of the Machines. Resolve, I'll pay. Backup. And I get to back up on Urabrask. And then I'll pay, so I don't take 2. We have flooded out, but that is a blowout. You just take the 4 there. It just doesn't matter. I mean, you should block the Bond Warden, I guess, but... Yep. This is a nice card. You can just pay 1 to sacrifice it, so it basically gains them 5 life. No. Opponent. That's not the right way to play this. Okay. Sure, get him for 3. Another land isn't very good. But I'll take my 5. I mean, if we're flooding out, it doesn't matter that they're making all these mistakes. We would have wanted to see land off of our Ren's Resolve and then have these cards be in our hand, but we can't control that, of course. Alright, they have a 2/4 that when it transforms, look at the top card. If it's a land, you may put it into your hand. And then they didn't. Oh, Invasion of Call Time. Nice. Exile all cards in my hand, draw that many cards. And then it flips into discard a land to do the thing. So we want to play lands from exile. And I am going to try and flip this immediately because it's so good. They have to block this or they lose to the shocks. You have to jump block this, friend. I could do 5 damage face and it kind of puts them in the same spot, but this is, I think, more likely for them to make a mistake, which they did. So now I have discard a land, deal 2 damage to any target, exile the top card of my library. I can play that this turn. I didn't want to do it this turn. I'm going to do that next turn. I'm in no rush. But now every land I draw is a shock that draws a card. We have a land to play next turn from exile. We can't discard using that. We could draw Pine Alar. Yeah, you can already see this is getting a little out of hand. They need to kill Urabrask. They need to remove the Pyre of the World Tree. And I'm at 14, so I'm really not feeling scared. You're casting Ren's Resolve? Sure. This is a really fun card for the black-blue deck. We didn't see it last draft, but when it enters, you pay an additional X of an exile instant or sorcery from any graveyard, and then you can cast it for free if it's X or less. Meeting of the Minds, Alabaster Host, Intercessor. Well, that's good for next turn. Pass. Yep, my turn. Lands are great. We blow up the Halo Forger first. See what we draw. Kenra Spellspear. Nice. We didn't hit a land, so I'll play this land from exile. They're going to Alabaster Host Intercessor me anyway. I mean, I'm just going to see what they turn this into before I do anything. Nothing. Okay, swing for 5 more. They chump block. Yep. And I'll play a Kenra Spellspear and a Slasher. I will not flip the Spellspear, but I will put the counter on the Spellspear. If I draw a second land, I'll be able to just bolt away the Alabaster Host Intercessor. Let's see what they take here. I assume it's Urabrask, but they have bigger problems. You can become a creature. Nope. Alright. Well, we're flipping Spellspear next turn. Bond Warden. Ain't that pretty fun? Yeah. I'll play that. Put it on Spellspear. Now if Spellspear dies, it moves its counters. Go to combat, see what this becomes. Swing for 5. They take the 5. Bold. I like it. We'll hold on to the land here. I'm in no rush. Garuda. That's a fun card. I mill 4, including Marauding Dreadship. They get my Furnace Gremlin or Aetherblade Agent. Yeah, their deck's super bomby. Pass. I assume you can't attack. You're at 5. Dune Shaper, huh? Part of me wants to just bop the agent and see what we hit off of the top with the World Tree. So many good cards we could draw. Yeah. I want to go face with this, I really do, but I think just killing the Death Toucher is better because it means Spell Spear's online. Sunder the Gateway. I mean, it just makes it a 2/2, but it gives Spell Spear another +2/+2 this turn. I mean, I'm casting it. And then giving it Prowess. It does have Trample. So we can take Garuda off the board here. Is that worth it? Trading Garuda for my Spell Stalker. When they're at 5. We're making a 4/3. Yeah. Let's see if something flips into something here. No? Alright, I'll swing for 7. They have to block this. I'll take Garuda off the board. Don't get to move the counters, unfortunately. If I get to play this and flip it, paying 2 life. We do have to be careful about our own life total. We still have lots of good top decks, and every land's a redraw, so honestly, the best card in our deck's probably a land to draw, because it means we get to draw another card. Just picking off their chump blockers. The battle that gives 2 creatures +2/+2 vigilance and trample is insane right now. The battle that deals 4 damage face and 1 to anything else is insane right now. That's a 5/4 menace. It's pretty big. Top card, not a creature, or at least not one they want to show us. We do have a pretty fat trampler here. Oh, mama. Alabaster Host Intercessor. Exile a creature an opponent controls. Yeah, I mean, I take this. A lot of choices here. I can take the Drifter, because then it means they're really awkward with combat. I think the right choice is to take the Intercessor. There's arguments around this. If I take the Drifter and they immediately remove Intercessor, then it just puts it back, but it has 1 less counter on it. To choice. I kind of feel like I'm supposed to take the Drifter. Is that weird? Like, I take the Intercessor, and if they have removal, then it just puts me right back where I was. But if I take the Drifter, it puts them worse, and it's more health on the board. It also means I can get the Oilcaster off the board by trading Doom Stomper. We both mill a card. I don't want land. They don't want land. Alright. I could have also cycled for a land to then do land things, but that seemed a little silly. Also, we're running out of lands. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 gone. So there's only 4 lands left in our 11 card deck. Oculus Whelp, if you control a transformed permanent. Life is very relevant here. Land, I mean, I'm blowing up your 3/2 for sure. Maybe we just go to combat. Yeah, I think I just go to combat and see how they block. I have first strike on the 2/3, so if they block incorrectly here, I get to kill off things with the land in hand too. This is pretty awkward for them, to say the least. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm gonna start by dealing 2 damage to the Intercessor, because I want that back the most. Oh, wait, no. If this just happens, they die, because I can go face with the land. Sure. So I kill the whelp because I can. And then I attempt to deal 2 damage face by discarding a land. Cool. I'll take it. They could not block like that. That's why I was like, oh, I didn't think of this block. I was like, oh, because this block just kills them if I have a land. Like this, the block they did is optimal if I have a land for keeping their board alive, but it kills them. I see 1-drop, 2-drop. I keeps. You can't make me not. Is there ever a world where I wait to play the 1-drop until I've played Furnace Gremlin? I think not, because I have the scroll shift as well. So I have a nice little turn 3 play of exiling Bond Warden to move a counter onto the Gremlin as a trick. Vision of Call Time's a great draw. Get in for my 1. Hey, I'm aggro. Alright, any land. I'll even take my tapped land. Sure. Oh, that's real bad. Well, we have the scroll shift for the Gremlin. Realmbaker's Grasp can't activate, can't attack or block, and can't activate abilities. Completed Hunter. Sacrifice. Hey. Land. What do land do? Sacrifice another creature or artifact, incubate 3. Can't really do anything about that. So I think the right choice here is to just pass and scroll shift on their end step for the Gremlin, hoping to draw a land. I want them to just play like a 4-drop. Play Converter Beast. Sculpted Perfection, even better. That is so slow. Do you want to, Zach? Yeah, I don't think you do. I want my Furnace Gremlin back. And to draw a card. Land is great. Okay. This does not get through. I feel like if I play Urabrask, it just dies, but I think I'm okay with that. Let's see what they want to do here. We're chilling. Invasion of Call Time plus, or Kylum plus Urabrask is excellent. And next time I might actually play Invasion of Call Time and then try to beat through it with Urabrask, because I'm gonna be able to play most of my hand the following turn. Sacrifice a creature and artifact, exile an artifact, or exile a creature or artifact. All right, well there goes Urabrask. We kind of called that. Maybe they'll attack into Invasion of New Cabana. Look at it, it's just so juicy. I ain't blocking. Oh no, this invasion. You can have this equipment soon. Create a 2/2 white and blue knight. Okay. Invasion of Kylum. Dink, dink. Trade off a knight and then either move the counter over. Alright, I guess I'm moving the counter over. I actually think that's the wrong choice. I think you're supposed to kill off the Gremlin here and let me incubate 3. Okay. Counter goes on Gremlin. I will let you have this equipment. It's an equipment that says put a 1/1 counter on that creature for each creature you control that shares a type with it whenever this creature attacks. It's pretty decent, honestly. Next turn, though, we're just playing Invasion of Call Time. Target creature gets -3/-3. Okay, so I incubate 0. I just have an artifact I can use, I guess. I think we play Captain Lannery Storm here. If I play Invasion of Kaldheim here, I get to draw 3 cards, but I don't flip Invasion of Kylum. I think what I'm supposed to do is play Captain Lannery Storm and attack the invasion and not play these lands. And then cast the invasion's backside. Now I have 2 3/2s. Yeah, I think if I play a land, I have more I can do next turn, but mana's not my issue. I have a Lannery Storm Treasure. We're doing so much with that. I think cards are our issue. Wow, another Sculpted Perfection. Very nice. So now, unless I want them to have all creatures get +1/+1, because this will get a counter when it attacks. Doesn't give it Vigilance, which is their main issue here. They want to be sacrificing stuff. But this is a 4/4 already, and it will be a 5/5 when this flips. Pretty gross. These say whenever this token and another token attack put counters on them, so I can't really afford. Oh, it'll be a 6/6. Gross. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot of stats. I think I double block the Huntmaster. Is that crazy? I don't think it is. Because this makes this a 5/5 on attacks. And then if I let this through, this goes to being a 6/6, and then these attacks aren't a thing. So I have to take this Huntmaster off the board. Wow. Okay. Well, glad I did this the way I did then. This is going to be a resource game through and through. An Invasion of Kaldheim should help a lot. If we hit a removal spell, we are in business. And if we don't, this gets awkward really quick. Another land is exactly what we wanted to see, because I am doing this no matter what. Draw 3 cards. Play a land from exile. This one. And now I get to destroy this tapped creature when it attacks. Doesn't have vigilance, doesn't give vigilance, does give vigilance. So they need to give it vigilance or protect it. And if they don't, they lose. Oh no, Alabaster Host Intercessor. What will I do? Good game. Can't stop the trigger, but I can kill this tapped creature. And then I'll just play my own Alabaster Host Intercessor. I could also flip Invasion of Kaldheim next turn. Oh my gosh, Pylanar. Okay, so we have 6 mana in play. Do I give them one more turn to make a singular Hasty Thopter? One more turn with the Intercessor? I don't think I do. I think I'm supposed to just immediately deal with this. Because this also gives me back Captain Lannery Storm, which I can swing at the invasion. And I will use that treasure immediately to play Pylanar. Alright. Well, we're in business now. If they have a removal spell for Intercessor, they get their Intercessor back, which is a removal spell for... Oh. Oh, no. Do I have 8 cards in my graveyard? Oh, thank goodness. Well... Yuck. I mean, I have to give up Storm here. So, 6/7 Menace because of the pump effects, even more with the Frazzle Cannon. But, if I have 8 or more cards in my graveyard, and this, they can pay 5 and flip this, and then they get to choose a creature and destroy it, then I discard 3 and mill 3, and then they reanimate all creatures. So, it's pretty rough, I would say. The thing is, though, we have a lot of resources happening here. I think I'm supposed to play this out and just put its counters on something else. I guess the Intercessor. We can double block it next turn. Right? It will go to 8, gain 4 life, and draw a card. Yeah, it's a pretty good draw right now. Just a free roll when you have this much mana. Tenured Oilcaster. Wow, everything's a frickin' Phyrexian, huh? They can go to combat and trade off Shieldred. I don't know if they want to. Okay, well, I'll flip this, I guess. We're looking for any removal spell. Kenra Spell Spear is pretty good, actually. Just another body. I don't have blue. I need to pay like that. Yeah, no attacks. Best card in our deck, Ren's Resolve. Or the battle if it deals 4 to a battle or player. Let's see how they want to do this. Still no attacks. We're just hanging out. Alright. Scrounger. Whenever it becomes tapped, discard to draw. Well, that goes great with the Dreadship, I would say. Let's keep pumping up Spellstalker, though, so that if and or when we draw an instant or sorcery, we can use it. But now I can crew this off of the Dreadship to discard and draw. Gift of Completion, Incubate 3, that's pretty big. That's a 5/5. And now whenever a Phyrexian dies, they Surveil. Alright, alright. Nahiri's Warcrafting's not even very good here, because it deals 5. I guess it's good post-combat. Move it over to the Oilcaster, sure. They both have Menace. Whenever it attacks or blocks, we mill. Oh, we're getting to a point where they can flip Shieldred. Yeah, if they flip Shieldred, this game's pretty over. But it does take a creature off the board for them, but then it immediately kills my Intercessor, which gives them an Intercessor. They are a mana short, though. Gain 4 life and draw a card. Okay. Yeah, we both mill. Land's great. I don't want that. Okay. Do I just give them a 4/4? Flying Vigilance? Or do I trade? How do I even trade? I don't even have a way to really trade effectively. I think I just have to give them a 4/4 here. Yeah, Shieldred's really housing us. We just don't have a good answer to them. It's just too big of a creature. So we're giving them the Sarah Angel here, because it's weirdly more dealable. It doesn't matter what the cannon's on. I don't really know what we need to draw here. There's just not a lot that helps us out. But we get 2 draws, one off the Scrounger and one off our actual draw. Well, that's not going to help us, so we need to immediately do this. I will discard this card. Nahiri's Warcrafting. That is a pretty great draw. Blow up the Sarah Angel and Prowess, and exile a card from among the top 1. So exile the top card. I will play it because it makes me a Thopter. Thopters are good. Fortunately, I now have 9 cards in my graveyard here. So we're in a spot. Go into combat. If I swing they can also flip this into a 5/5. Gross. I mean, I could take my Invasion of Kaldheim, deal a damage to this. Maybe I just don't attack with anything else. Yeah. This is tough. They'll be able to kill Intercessor, and then Intercessor will take my Gixian Spellstalker. Yeah, this is pretty over. Shieldred's just too good. Do we still have our 2/2? We do still have Destroy Target Artifact or Enchantment in our deck. The 2 mana Destroy an Artifact or Enchantment and then Incubate, or make an Incubate and then flip it. Or flip a Incubate. So that's actually pretty decent. Alright, that doesn't matter, but it's a Phyrexian on the back. But you should just pay to flip Shieldred, my friend. I'm quintuple blocking if you don't. Yep. Shieldred comes off the board. Destroy a creature or planeswalker. Yep, I will crew in response. In case it matters. And then they get to take Pine-Alar. They should not take the Dreadship. Should take Pine-Alar. Or the token. Actually, the 1/1 flying token's a decent choice, but... yeah. And they should not care about this battle. I think they should be going face. Their stats are absurd already. So, you know, life is my problem now. They've had really good answers. This control deck's really good. I'm not blocking that. Please don't mill something relevant. No, it's like the best draw in my deck. Can't block this. You can have everything as +1/+1. It kind of doesn't change the math at all. Honestly, imagine this wet face, right? Like I'm just dead next turn versus now this doesn't matter. So now I'm in the same spot. I get to block next turn. All right, draw. It's another land. I have to go to combat. Attack the 1/1 there. I will use this. This is why I didn't discard the land, because I can actually just discard it with this now. Unfortunately, I have... Where do I send this? It doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. I will target their face then. Discard this land. This is why taking Pine-Alar was correct. And yeah, you got it, opponent. Control deck did control things. Their board is too good. Even if we draw the 2-mana exile or destroy a artifact or enchantment, it's just too slow. Because I have to deal with Shieldred, but they really overwhelmed us there. They had a lot of control pieces. It was a good deck. All right. Double 2-drop on the draw. Sign me up. Not sure which one I lead on. Oof, turn 2 Omen Hawker's scary. Well, I know I'm leading on a turn 1 1-drop, that's for sure. I have a feeling I'm supposed to play Hoplite first. It means that if I hit any of my backup stuff, it immediately is better. Okay, well now I'm definitely leading on Hoplite. We do need to hit a land here, and if we draw a land, Invasion of Regatha destroys them. Because this deals 1 damage to a creature. Drag Recycler, sacrifice an artifact creature. Each opponent loses a life, you gain a life. It's a little bit slow. This is really for like the black-white deck that wants to have their stuff die, but it's fine in the black-blue deck. It's just a good 2-drop for a control deck that doesn't want to get blown out. Oh. Pass? Well, I'm just going to play this Invasion. What you got? Basically my only real play, so I'm always doing this. Kill the Omen Hawker. Sacrifice it, sure. I do think that was quite incorrect, though, because now I'm going to try and flip this. If I draw a land here, yeah. Yeah. I think I'm going to make my Hoplite a 4/4 first strike. What do you think, opponent? I think you're chump blocking. And then sacrificing the Dreg Recycler to itself to gain a life. It's pretty cute. You got it. And then I'm gonna Invasion of Kyurem on my first striker and my 4/4. And this just feels so over. Stasis Field. Okay, that was Defender now. Still... oh, no, it doesn't trigger the backup things. That's annoying a little bit. I guess... I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, actually. On one hand, I can just play Invasion of Kaldheim. play the land I know I'm gonna get. Or I could just play Invasion of Kylum and force them to chump block with Rona. Let's just force them to chump block with... wow, this is a weird spot. We're just so far ahead right now. I think I'm supposed to just play Invasion of Kaldheim and see what we hit. And then keep the land in hand as another card to draw and another card to play. And then next time we get to play Pinealar and just empty out our hand with it. No attacks. Bond Warden's great. Make the heal slasher bigger. But, oh goodness, what a crazy card. Higetsuru and Kairi. 5 mana, 5/4 flying. When it enters, Brainstorm. And then when it dies, exile the top card of your library. I lose life equal to its mana value. And then if it's an instant or sorcery, they cast it for free. Pretty nuts card, to say the least. This does not give... Oh, it gives haste and vigilance. Jeez. Well, our turn is prescripted. We're playing Pilenar. We're playing a regular land. And we're playing Invasion of Kylum, making the Thopter. I'm giving Slasher and Pilenar +2/+0 and First Strike and Haste. And swinging them at... Or swinging both at Invasion of Kaldheim. Yeah. I really want to flip an Invasion of Kaldheim. And they can double block and then use Hitsugiri and Kairi. I assume they put an instant or sorcery spell on top. Just makes the most sense. Nope, they're just giving me this. Oh, friend. I make another Thopter. It didn't seem like they wanted... I mean, I'm in no rush, I guess. I'll let them do what they want to do here. Next turn, I can double bonk things off these lands I drew. Draw 3, discard a card. Yeah, sure. Hitsugiri and Kairi don't have trample, they just have flying. So I do get to chump block with a Thopter. Discard a land, sure, sure. Play a land, sure, sure. Combat? Yeah, friend, this is going to get out of hand really quickly, because I'm about to flip this. And then this combos with this to make every one of them deal 4. Okay, so watch the magic. We bonk Invasion of Regatha, exiling this, or discarding this land. I cast this and make a Thopter. I play this land from exile and make a Thopter. I use this, discarding. I now deal 4 with this. We trigger Higetsuru. It's a land, sure. I've already played a land this turn. I am gonna Enduring Bond Warden on... I assume it's the Dune Shaper, funny enough, but... I can flip it for 5 to make it a 5/4 trample. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then I am going to pay 2 and flip this. Pay 2 life, that is. Go to combat. Swing the 5/4 there. And the 4/1/1s at their face. They can chump block with Rona, and I deal damage through it to the invasion. Okay. Am I getting board cleared? It's basically the only thing that gets them out of this. And I'm fine with going all in here. They are dead next turn. It's board clear or bust. Damn it. Well, they have to kill their own Rona or they let me keep my Pilenar. That seems like it was incorrect. I don't care. I have a Pyre of the World tree, friend. All of my lands are now also Thopters, which are also cards. Yeah, this is why you were supposed to kill this, by the way. I'm actually going to play Furnace Gremlin first. Put this counter on the Furnace Gremlin. Go to combat. Swing everything at their face. I cannot believe that they didn't kill their own Rona to keep my Pinelar alive. Sure. What a wild choice. Uh-huh. They need triple removal spell to be able to flip Invasion of Fiora using Rona. They could obviously have spells that just remove the counters, you know, automatically. There's an uncommon black spell that just removes 5 counters from a permanent, and draws a card or something like that. But they need to kill Furnace Gremlin, kill Bond Warden, and then I have 2 mana available, so then I can make the incubate that this dies into, assuming it dies with at least 1 power. So they need either triple removal spell or a removal spell that exiles or reduces power and toughness, which there are answers for that. And all of that means that they get 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. Sure. You should kill Pinelar. Unless you are able to get through... Oh! Flip Invasion of Fiora that way. Interesting. Well, I guess that's the you can just deal damage to things method. And then they'll be able to start flipping these. This one's the scary one for sure. Pass. I assume no attacks. 3/6 Menace, Death Touch. Gross. Sure. I am not blocking this. I am going to try and kill you, friend. How best to do this? They're going to start flipping all of our stuff. We didn't draw a land, which is a little upsetting, but we also have, what is this, 3 in the graveyard, 8 here, 1 in exile. So there's only 4 lands left in our deck, funny enough. I can play and flip Kenra's Spell Spear. I think I'm first supposed to just go to combat and attack in the air with this trio. And they can trade off Marchesa, I guess. 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I make a 6/6 incubate. Sure. That is a great deal for me. I cannot believe they offered that trade. To be fair, they would be at 4 then, and I have a Pirates of the World tree in play. So that's just 2 lands. But, I mean, you gotta do the count, right? Like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. My land count is getting low here. But that's fine. The best card in my deck still is a land every time. Now, that's the power of this rare, right? Like, on its front side, it's super high value. On its back side, it's super high value. So, Pinelar still being a problem for them. Also, I just want to walk back a couple turns. They used this to flip this, and then used this to trade with my creature. They could have just... What are we doing? Remove 5 counters, draw a card. Okay, it's a 1/1 now. It's still fine. I'll chump block with my Enduring... Ooh, Atris. I love Atris. Okay. I'd rather they take the Tidal Terror because it's just 1 card. But they can't play anything they take either way. Here. Which is kind of good for me. When this creature dies, each player mills 2, then you can exile this and put target creature or battle from your graveyard on top. Yeah, that's a problem. I'll chump block with the Bond Warden. It's done plenty. I have no counters on it, but it still makes me target because it's funny. Play a Lannery Storm. Really don't want them flipping this. I can trade with Atris. This flips into a flyer, which is kind of a problem for me. But they have a flyer in this as well. Is this where Pylanar has done its job? I feel like the answer is still no. Let's go with Flannery, make our treasure. See if they want to take 2 here. Or if they want the menace creature. Okay, menace creature it is. I'll pay 2. And I don't think I'm supposed to flip it. I think I'm supposed to keep up 2 mana to flip my incubate. Because it's another blocker, depending on how they do attacks here. Invasion of Varin is a problem because it's just a second copy of a flyer. I kept my flyers back this turn. Maybe that was a mistake. I'm just worried about them flipping everything in one turn here and then just being so far ahead. Okay. I will attempt to block the Atris with a Thopter and a 1/1. Seems like a great deal to me. Cool. If I give them back, if the gorilla dies, they get back Invasion of Fiora and they can re-board clear me. It's very annoying. Pays 4 to flip it. My turn. Cut short. Cut short. What does cut short mean? I legitimately don't know what I'm supposed to use that on. Gosh, this flyer is very annoying. Death Toucher is also quite annoying. I mean, I know I'm supposed to just use the treasure on this. And I think if I pass and cut short the gorilla, then we both mill 2, and then they put Invasion of Fiora back on top. I don't know. Let's see what they do here. We're in a weird spot for sure. They're playing their lands. They're playing their lands. Backup lifelink. Ew. Okay. Well, that's gotta die. That makes this decision a lot easier. Just kill this off. They don't gain the life. Now they're getting into danger zone. If I draw a land, I can kill the Aetherborn with the land, get a Thopter, get a card. Yeah, land is my best draw again. Dreadship. Interesting. That's really interesting. Are they dead to Dreadship? It's real close. The 2 life from Aetherborn just keeps paying dividends is the issue here. But we can put them really low and then make it so that if we top deck a land, we win. And this doesn't have lifelink. Yeah, I see what we do here. So we play the Dreadship, we get our Prowess. Woo, Prowess. We flip the Incubate so we can crew with it. We equip, or we crew using the Dreadship. And we go to combat. I think I swing with everything. Because this has Trample. Yeah, I think I swing with the team, make the treasure. I can crack the treasure to kill the Mind Stinger if that's how they block. If they block like that, they're taking even more damage. I'm trying to put them in range of just dying to, what's it called? The deal 2 damage off the top. One, two, three, four, five, six. So we cracked this treasure basically unnecessarily to give this 1 more power. Deal 2 trample damage there. They go to 1 and then up to 3. But they kept the gorilla alive? The flitter? Why would, of all things to keep alive, that's your board clear. And they just slammed a land instead of playing Rona. So unless the card they have in their hand is amazing, I mean, you should never be playing your lands at this point. You should just be casting Rona. Discard 2 cards in addition to its other costs. Yeah. I mean, right now they're dead on board. Because even if they flip Invasion of Ugortha, or whatever the heck this is, Olgortha, it's 1 creature, and I have 3 creatures that if 2 get through, they die. They're looking at their graveyard, though. They could have shenanigans. Halo Forger, what a top deck. Alright, what does Halo Forger get? Instant or sorcery, huh? X equals 3, render inert? Dispersal? That can't be right. And then Surveil. They really wanted to Surveil. They have 9 cards left. That could tell us that the last cards in their deck are just premium. They're putting themselves in a pretty dicey position. Land off the top now wins. Along with so many overdraws. Cut short. Don't feel like cut short is one of them. I can kill the gorilla. We both mill 2. They kept a card on top. New win condition unlocked is milling them. Problem is, both our creatures are legendary and both of theirs aren't. So if I am not careful, I will die to Invasion of Fjord just blowing up my board only. Very dicey. I don't think we attack. I can attack with Lannery to take Halo Forger off the board. But that's actually my least problematic creature, because that gets bolted by Vampire, dies to or trades with a Thopter, and that just pumps this and gains them life. I want to kill this with my cut short. Yeah, they've played a couple misplays, I would say, here. We have to give them the Invasion of Vryn here if they so wish it. I'm not blocking that. I'm not casting a spell here. Gift of Completion, Incubate 3. Alright, that's another creature on the board for them. Very nice. My turn. Nahiri's Warcrafting is gas. We blow up this, and then we get to exile 2 cards off the top and play 1 of them this turn. I guess it's Hanger Scrounger. It's a bigger creature. I cast this. I get to put a 1/1 counter on something. It's Pylanar. Obviously. And then I force really awkward blocks because I can sack the treasure to Lannery to force the Incubate to die. I will not discard a card to draw. Go to blocks. How do you want to do this? Jump block. Trade. I don't even have to use the treasure because they're doing it this way. That's pretty interesting, to say the least. They get a Surveil trigger, which they already kept a card on top? No, they kept... Wow, we're down to 7 cards. At this point, Gorilla might kill them. Both players mill 2. Oh, they get to put a card on top. But I mean, like... Yeah, I mean, their only win condition right now is Breach the Multiverse to mill me 10. Or a second Invasion of Fiora, I guess. At me? No blocks. I go to 12. Okay. I'm not really sure what happened there. But, they needed to not attack with the Gorilla, because that's the one card I can't have die. So I can never attack into the Gorilla, because then they get to put Invasion of Fiora back on top of their deck and board clear me. So we get into this stalemate where as long as Invasion of Fiora is in the graveyard and the gorilla is untapped, I cannot in good conscience attack into them unless I'm willing for them to put Invasion of Fiora back on top of their library. Which basically means unless they're dying to the attacks, I can't attack. So that was a really weird game. I think we played it really well, but I think more so than anything else, our opponent did not navigate that complex board state very well. This is a slow hand on the play, but Lannery Storm is just kind of a crazy keep. I'm going to keep this. It might be wrong. I'm not quite sure, but it's really hard for me to give up 2 of my best cards like here, so cut short's a good draw in case they have something silly here. Okay. How do you feel about trading a Captain Lannery Storm for your 2/1? And I get a treasure. This is basically 3 mana, deal 1 to a creature and make a treasure. I'm fine with that. Seems like a good trade to me with my current hand. Flip Captive Weird and attack with it. Norn's Inquisitor. Ah, that card's obnoxious. Wow, another Captive Weird. Okay. Well, land is a real bad draw here. We will just hold up, cut short. This is a real awkward spot, to say the least. We're going to cut short anything they give us to cut short, and then Invasion of Call Time the following turn. But this is pretty rough, because all of these are going to get 1/1 counters, too. I just cut short this. Or it gets out of hand. Sunder the Gateway. Yeah, that's not really good enough, I don't think. Play a land off of this. Counter target battle unless I pay 4. If you got it, you should use it. It's absolutely the right choice. Yep. Dang. This is an insane start. Norn's Inquisitor is really, really good. I don't think I'm supposed to just make a 2/2 here. This is pretty rough. Good. I mean, double. Look at all these uncommons. Triple Phyrexian deck uncommons for the blue-white deck. Really solid. It's funny because blue-whites is knights. And they are not playing knights. They're playing Phyrexians. Put a counter on it. Top card. Okay, so now I can't play any creatures. Yeah, this is pretty rough. Oh my gosh, another land. Alright, well, I guess I should not have kept that hand, but also I don't know what I could have kept against this start from our opponent. Double Captive Weird, Norn's Inquisitor, removal spell. Yeah, I mean, that is gas. That is a gas control start. Alright, we're at 3 wins. Really would like to get the 4th, but let's see if we can pull it through with some aggro. Alright, all the marbles. I have a Kenra Spell Spear on the play. Do we get a free win? Green is what I want to see for that. Kill this or lose. Green. That ain't gonna cut it, buddy. That ain't gonna cut it, buddy. No attacks. Eventually cut short deals with that. Tribute to the World Tree. Woof. That is a card. That's not a card I want to see. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm gonna play Hoplite. I'm gonna play Enduring Broodwarden. I'm gonna put. Wow, we could go kind of crazy here. We could put both. Read this. Was it put its counters on target creature? Interesting. I'm not sure if this double triggers because it has 2 copies of it. I guess I could find out in short order here. I guess we'll test it out. I think I am willing to trade this down for the damage. So the question is, do I get to put 2 counters on the Hoplite or 4? How does this work? 4? 6? I do get to put 4. Okay, yeah, that was totally worth it then. And then I get to scroll shift the Bond Warden to put 2 more counters on the Hoplite. Ugh, it's getting nasty. Yep, that's pretty slow. Invasion of Kaldheim, and I'm going to swing at it. Draw 3. Warcrafting's great. Swing at it. Just going to give it to me. Awesome. Awesome. I even have cut short, so they can't attack. And they know that. Them knowing that's a little annoying, but say Livy. Sure. You can go get a color. So yeah, 2 counters. Oh, it's 1 counter. Oh, it is another. You do have another color. Oh. You played a land first? What a choice. Well, here's what I think. I think I'm going to play Pinolar. And then I'm going to scroll shift my Bond Warden. Make a 1/1. 5, 6, 7, 8. Put 2 counters on Mirror Shield, Hoplite again. Play a land for turn. Go to combat. Swing like this. Oh, buddy. I will get to put so many counters on my things. Yeah. And say go. Also, I would have discarded a land to make it so everything dies. Ooh, backup Death Touch. Do you have a bite? Or a fight? If they have a fight spell here, they're in business. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. My turn. Interesting choices. Attempt to just murder the Death Toucher. Choosing... Is it Lannery Storm? Is it Lannery Storm? I feel like it's supposed to be the 1-drop. Isn't that weird? Yeah, I think it's the 1-drop here. Play the 1-drop. Make another Thopter with haste. Go to combat. Swing, swing. Swing him with the 8/8. Go on, double block it. Uh-huh. I'll kill off the big one. Oh, look at that. Perfect 2 damage left on it. If only I had a land. Oh my gosh, another Bond Warden. Sure. I'll put it on the Dune Shaper as the Trampler. I will not play a land for turn. I'll just pass. This feels pretty closed and open. Okay. Yeah. We're at 4 wins and 2 losses. Yikes. This is a hand where if we don't draw a land, we lose. I don't like keeping hands like that on the play. So I won't. If we draw a land, this hand is great. If we don't, we just literally lose. This is much better. Put a land on the bottom. Play a turn 2 Kenra Spell Spear. Spell Spear. This card's just absurd. We even have a good answer if they are playing white to one of their potential answers for the Spell Spear. But we'll just slam it here. I don't want to play Warcrafting on 3 by way. I really want to play it on 4. Untap a land. That's too slow, buddy. I'll pay my life. And get in for 3. Has trample, so they can't even jump block it. If they have a 1-mana answer, almost all of them are... I mean, I guess they could have the target creature gets... Oh, Converter Beast. Destroy target non-token artifact or enchantment. Dang. Well, that's annoying. I could Nahiri's Warcrafting here to try hit a land for playing a land this turn. It also gives me an extra trigger off this, take them off of mana. A lot of choices here. Target non-token artifact, huh? I could also just get down the Mirror Shield. I think I like that better, because if I draw a land next turn, I can play the Heal Slasher and give First Strike twice. They basically have to leave up 2 mana to flip. Alright. Well, I guess now I'm going to just bonk the Spellstalker, because I really want to hit a land. Or sorry, not Spellstalker, but Tracker. Untap a land and then flip Converter Beast. Okay, sure. And I'm just looking for any land. We'll take white here. And play it. And I will... I don't think I'm supposed to offer a trade, because if they have a pump spell, I am very sad. Specifically, the pump spell I'm thinking of, I think it's 3 mana, but its target player goes and searches for a land and puts a counter, but I think it might be 4. Either way, there's just too many cards that... Ooh, that's a pretty bad one. If an opponent casts their blue back above his turn, look at the top 4 cards. Yeah. Ooh, a Modi. Cascade. Cascade on all big things now. Alright. Well, I'm gonna make this huge. How do I want to do that? I can blow up the Surveyor, make this a 5/5, put 2 counters on it, and then when it dies, it will move its counters. Yeah, I like this a lot. We're going to do the same play we did on the previous one. Because the other option is I play this, it becomes a 7/5 and a 4/2, and then I swing everything, but it just doesn't work how I want it to. So we're going to double up on the Spellstalker, Sunder the Gateway, destroy target non-token artifact, and make a, what's it called? 2/2, and then swing for 7. If this dies, I get to move all of its counters, which is so many counters, onto the Bond Warden, so that when it dies, it moves its counters. So we just turned 1 counter into 4, and traded off a 5/5 and a 4/2, all at the cost of paying 2 life, essentially. I mean, come on. And next turn, if my Hoplite lives, we have a lot we can do. They went and got a Plains, so they could have some Bant shenanigans. Couple Bant cards, but mostly white-green cards that are strong. White-blue has Night stuff. Wow. Karuga, draw 2 cards. Or Karuga. Land, you say. Yeah. Playing the land. The question is, do we go all in on first strike things this turn? Or do we play Invasion and swing both at it? Problem with playing Invasion and swinging both at it is they can just double block and it's really effective. Versus playing the Heal Slasher here and just making the Hoplite twice as large. I don't need to make the Bond Warden bigger, because if it dies, it moves its counters, so I'm fine with trading it. Because then I'm just going to put all of its counters on the Heal Slasher and make a giant first striker there. Here's my 6/7 first striker. I mean, these counters are just really effectively moving around my board because of the Hoplite. Tangled Skyline, gain 5 life, incubate 5. Phyrexians have reach, and they can flip that this turn. Very nice. Well, I got bad news for you, friend. I'm gonna flip my incubate here, right? Oh no, I need to be able to dance with this 5/5, huh? Alright. I will simply play the invasion. My creatures get +2/+0, vigilance, and haste. And go to combat. I can swing both at this and then make 2 3/2s guaranteed. It may mean that they just don't block this turn, but I think that's fine. Let's see. They could double block trading the Hoplite and chump blocking a Modi. Okay, we're keeping a Modi around. Works for me. Make 2 3/2s. Next. And I think I'm supposed to just get down the Furnace Gremlin as opposed to flipping, because I can always flip next turn and it will have haste essentially because it's already been on the board. Streetwise, Negotiator, doesn't matter. Sure. Pinelar, that's pretty fun. I think I'm supposed to flip this and just go to combat. And we can pump the Gremlin. Yeah, they just get counters and they can trade off 1, trade off the 2/2. They have a trick. Okay, trade off this way. I will actually make this a 3/2 so I incubate 3. I think that's more relevant than getting Pinelar down, since I don't have anything to go with Pinelar. I'm worried about Sunfall. Well, I guess no need to be worried about Sunfall. That was a destructive game. Once again, our first pick of the double backup card, synergizing really well with our deck. That's what the red-white deck's trying to do. We're at 5 wins, so we've already made our money back. Hello, 2-drop City. This is a super keepable hand. On the play, no less. This is one of those hands where you don't have to draw a 3rd land for it to be great, and I'm a big fan of hands like that. Obviously, if we draw a 3rd land for Kenra's Spellspear on the play, pretty crazy. But we have Pilenar behind it with immediately Captain Lannery's Storm, cut short to use. Scrounger's even decent. We have a lot of gas. I'd say we need to draw a land by turn like 4 to not be in trouble, which 3 draws statistically puts us in favor. They mulliganed as well, which helps us out a little bit. No land, but another early play is great. I'm going to start on the Spellspear. Pilenar is better later when we have our synergy pieces. Oh my, that's so slow. Alright, no land is sad, but I'll get Pinelar down over the 1-drop I can't flip for a while. +1/+0 and flying, huh? This is a very slow card. Green-white, destroy target tap creature. Blighted Burgeoning, we're rampant. This land taps for extra. Oh my gosh, we missed again. Alright, well this is turn 4, so we did say this is when, if we hadn't drawn a land, we'd be in trouble. I feel like we're in a little bit of trouble already. They're going to have 5 mana this turn. We do have double removal spell. Invasion of Ixalan. Look at the top 5, reveal permanent. Sure, this flips into something absurd, I remember. Yeah. 4/3 trample, whenever you cast a spell, it gets indestructible. And then Forest Cycle. Oh, we hit Galta. Oh my goodness. Well, Galta's crazy, but great news for us. It doesn't have haste. But it does say whenever you attack. So what they'll do is they'll want to already have this flipped so that they get its trigger. Create a tapped and attacking green dinosaur of trample where that's the greatest power among a tapped in creatures. Or create 1/1s where X is the number of other attacking creatures. Either way, what do I want to do here? I think I just get down Captain Lannery's Storm. We don't have a way to kill this really until it attacks, but this sure does help us put the hurt on. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this puts a lot of hurt on. We'll be able to cut short it if they play it this turn. And if they don't play it this turn, They're in trouble. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I guess they were short either way. If you have a creature of vigilance, that's actually really annoying. Okay. Equip 1? No, it's equip 2. I mean, you might as well hit the invasion of Ixalan. My face? Surely not. Okay. Office Treasure and Kenris Swiftsphere trample things. We're in quite a nice position. Pilanar will also let us cast or make a Thopter off of if we hit a land here, which is what we're looking for. Yep, land. Play said land, make a Thopter. Play the Bond Warden and put its counter on... I want to put on the Thopter they can't block. I mean, I'm swinging this turn. They kill the 3-power creature, which will become 4, so they have to block here. And they take 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I mean, they're just dead. This was just much too slow. Why does it say I can cast this? Oh, Convoke, right. It's really funny. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I don't even need to worry about it. But if I need 1 more damage, I could kill my own blocked creature to get a prowess trigger as well. But yeah, that is aggro, baby. We had a pretty rough start there. Only ended up ever seeing 3 lands. We exiled the 4th. Too slow. You gotta respect the aggro decks in this format. You can't be playing decks like that and expect to win against aggro. They basically didn't play a permanent that was an actual creature that could block or attack or do anything until turn 5, right? And it didn't matter if I was just playing 2-drops. I'm playing creatures, and creatures will kill you quickly in this format. Listen, control's good. Our last draft, we trophied with a full control deck, all in on control. Mill was a main strategy we were going for. Our deck didn't really come online until turn like 5, 6, 7. But we had so much early game because I know you gotta respect these early game decks in this format. You just can't slack on it. So this is kind of cool if we trophy with this deck as well, really showcasing like the 2 polarities of this set of the super aggro, super control, which is I think defined this set of like both sides were really strong and they both really had to respect each other. Final boss is a top 200 mythic player. Okay. I mean, I'm keeping this hand. We have once again double 2-drop. Basically the same spot we were in last time. This one's actually a little better because I have Sunder of a Gateway even to deal with some disruptive things. I think I'm supposed to play the Lifelinker on turn 2 here. I'm the most okay with it dying, and it's the best thing if I get to keep doing stuff with it. Yeah, I mean, I'll just go to combat, see what's up. Gain 2 life, sick. I'll try to play Pilanar. Awesome. I'm loving where we're at now. I have a Hanger Scrounger even. I can just kill that, sure. And now Hanger Scrounger. I'm going to discard this, what's it called? Cut down? Cut short? But first, let's get this 1/1 counter on the Sanctifier. See if I draw the backup creature. That might be better to play this turn. No, just another land. That's okay. Dune Shaper. Aggro's doing aggro things. Got a pretty solid board already. Ooh, this card's obnoxious. Whenever it enters or attacks, exile a creature from a graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on it, and then it has all the keywords of those creatures. But we top-decked a monster of a card in Invasion of Kylum. We're going to give everything that... Now everything dances with this. Unfortunately, that means I can't discard and draw this turn. But no matter what they block, Invasion of Kylum flips and I get 2 3/2s. So this was game 3. This turn I'm playing gain 3 life and make 2 3/2 tokens for 4 mana. I'm a big fan of that. There's an argument I should be attacking in a way where they are justified to take this off the board. Like I go face with one of these creatures, so if they block one. But I think getting the 2 3/2s is more important. and developing my board. I'll play the land. I have stuff to do with my mana now with Dune Shaper. If I draw another land, I can play Sunder of a Gateway and flip Dune Shaper, which I would very much like to do. Great draws in our deck right now include the Invasion that exiles our hand. Yes, we'll only exile one card, but it's a free draw. Pylanar's dead, or exiled rather. I don't even know what I really want. Just aggro things, hasty things. Kenra's Spell Spear is great. A removal spell for scavengers would be good. Nahiri's Warcrafting would be solid off the top. Let's see what we're doing here. So far, they've played a bomb rare and a premium removal spell, so can't fault them that they're trying. Etched Doombringer, sure. Each opponent loses 2 and gains 2. Kenra's Spell Spear off the top? You shouldn't have. Puts us in a little bit of an awkward spot on attacks. This is sorcery speed, right? Part of me wants to just get the Kenra Spell Spear down and flip it. Part of me wants to just swing out. They're at 17. 3-5 is really annoying here. We just have no way to actually get through it. Whenever creature token attack, put a 1/1 counter on this token. You know, we have so many good draws. I think the right play is to just play Kenra's Spell Spear and flip it, and then pass. It seems super passive, but 3-5 kind of houses me here, and I'm in no interest of just blowing up my board to get through for like 4 damage. Puts me in a really awkward spot. And they have to attack to get the Urborg Salvager's trigger. So, Tidal Terror, wow, they're just playing big stuff now. This is rough. And land is a pretty rough draw, to say the least. Yeah, I think we just flip this, pay another 2 life, and say go. I think we keep the land in our hand now, so we have the thing to discard off the Scrounger eventually. I'd really like them to see them play like the make a creature a 0/2 defender with no text, so I have something to blow up with the Gateway. That'd be quite ideal for me. Moment of Truth is good for them here. Look at the top 3, pick the best one. Interested to see what they put in the graveyard. Probably a land. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Tidal Terror eventually is a problem, but they are not tapping 2 untapped creatures anytime soon. We're a little bit board stalled until I find a way to break through. That is a way to break through because of Spell Spear being double prowess. Give me something good here. Top 2. Oh my. Give Spell Spear first strike? Yeah. Well, now combat seems like a no-brainer because Spell Spear trades pretty great. It's not perfect. Problem is they have to like triple block to deal with the Spell Spear this turn. The rest of my attacks are just so junk though. Like if I attack with everything, they get to eat 3 things and then they can take 6, 7, 8, 9, like 10, 11. They go to 6, but all of their stuff is alive. And I get a draw discard and I have a Sunder of a Gateway behind, Gateway behind this. Make 2 4/3s. They block with the advantage. Can block here. They can even be more aggressive. I think I actually have to attack with everything. This is a really tough spot, but they're only going to continue to get value, and we're kind of tapping out on value this turn. Discard and draw. Another land. Yeah, if I hadn't attacked all in this turn, we would have lost. Because next turn, top decking a land guarantees that we don't have any gas, and we just can't push through. We don't have the triggers for Stalker. We just can't actually do it. So let's see how they block. Take the trade, sure. Keep Orborg Scavengers alive. Interesting. They can't block the Spellstalker, which helps us a ton because we'll get Prowess again next turn now. But they will get to mill 2 and put a battle on top. Creature or battle. Yeah, pretty good. Blocks are awkward here. They're a top mythic player. I assume they're going to make smart choices, but this is not an easy turn for them. It's very awkward. If they block this way, keeping alive their Scavengers, which is an interesting choice, it does get lifelink by exiling my Host Sanctifier next turn. Okay. Interesting. They're chump blocking with the Gorilla. This does block more damage. This is the correct blocks, actually. So they get to mill 2 here. I would have top deck Scroll Shift for my Heal Slasher. Would have been a good draw. Chromos Seed Shark. Yucky. That's a really good card. Standard playable. 3 mana, 2/4 flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, incubate X for its mana value. Card can take over the game. What I'm trying to do is put them in range where if I top deck my battle and deal 4, I'm in business. They can attack with Scavengers here, exile my lifelinker, and then make it a 4/4 lifelink. They go up to 11. I have Sunder of a Gateway for Prowess. But then I'm basically in a spot where if I draw this coming turn a second non-creature spell, the quadruple Prowess gets really out of hand. No blocks, obviously. Need them to whiff here a little bit, but they really did just play a bunch of big butts in a row. Oh, that's a bummer. Exile, target creature, incubate 3. Oh, wow, land. Okay, well, this game was not for us to win. I would say it's a good try, but we just drew too many lands in a row here. We kept a 2-lander, didn't we? Yeah, I mean, we're 9 lands deep at this point, and we're halfway through the deck. Yeah, a little bit unlucky on that. This game's not over, but it feels pretty far gone at this point. We're facing down a control deck that clearly has their wits about them. This becomes a 5/5 with flying. Yeah, nice. Can't even block it. Gain your 5 life. Yeah, very nice opponent. Really solid deck. I don't know if there's much else we can draw. I mean, Urabrask is good, but not good enough by any means. Keeping the land in hand for if we draw the battle that lets us exile our hand. That way we at least draw a card off of it, but yeah, we're just going to lose to Scavengers in the air. We do have, double cut short in the deck, but 1's in the graveyard already. And they could very well be holding up the backup hexproof guy that is a cornerstone of many of these control decks where you have single card win conditions like this. They have no more creatures with keywords to get. It's just keywords, not the text boxes. Right? Yeah. Whoa! That is a top deck. No point in playing the land because the counterspells counter it unless they pay 4. But this does answer Scavengers. Instant speed removal, I think, does protect it, though. Oh, pile on. Such a good rare. Convoke, destroy a creature for 4, and surveil 2. And it's creature or planeswalker. Wow, and they hit land. Yep. Good game, opponent. Really solid control deck. I mean, this is what we built last time and trophied with, basically, just with different rares. This is a Aftermath rare, but it is an absolute monster of a card. Oh, attacking of Tidal Terror is lethal. Well played, opponent. This is why you're mythic. I respect it. A very good game. Got a little bit housed single-handedly by this rare, but they played really well around it. And that's an honorable loss from one mythic player to another. Good job. All right. Little 6 winner. Very close to being a trophy, but I'm not too surprised. Our rares are a little bit weak for how good this deck could be. It's a solid aggro deck, but we're playing a couple cards like Cut Short that are on the weaker side for this deck. but we got that late Captain Lannery's Storm. Nahiri's Warcrafting is great. Hylinar put in a lot of work. We built kind of the deck a little bit around them being able to do all the things. But Invasion of Kaldheim is just such a house. Exile all the cards from your hand, draw that many cards, and then it flips into a must deal with enchantment. And there's not a lot of good ways to deal with it. So our rare pile is pretty solid. I don't think I'm missing any rares here. And then our non-rare pile, our pack one, pick one, and Mirror Shield Hoplite, very strong card. Invasion of Kylum, these red-white uncommon signposts are legit, as we saw in many of our games. The Plane Cycler in this set is insane. Honestly, all 5 are pretty good, but the Island Cycler and the Plane Cycler in particular really pull their weight. And then Kenra Spell Spear. I mean, it's one of the banes of the format. 2/2 for 2 that comes down, and if you don't deal with it on 2 and you let them flip it, it really just takes over the early game every time. If you're flipping this on turn 3 consistently and you have stuff to back it up, it's insane. And we're not even the deck that's for this card. In the Is It deck, which is all about spell slinging, convoke, etc., where you can cast multiple non-creature spells basically for free by tapping your creatures instead of paying mana, this card gets so big so fast you die on like turn 4. One of the cornerstone pieces of that deck is Rouse Reinforcements, which is a 2-mana sorcery that makes 2 1/1s, and it just Convoke goes crazy. And then the rest of our deck's just really solid. I mean, we took a bunch of backup creatures to go with our Mirror Shield. Whoop, I just cut a backup creature. Come back. Took a bunch of backup creatures to go with our Mirror Shield Hoplite. These Bond Wardens with the Mirror Shield Hoplites are so strong because they put 2 counters, and then if that creature dies, they move their counters twice, which turns 1 counter into 4. And we got to do that multiple times, which is pretty fun. And then the rest of our deck is really just solid stuff. We have an Invasion of Regatha to burn out and flip some of our battles in a kind of surprising fashion. And then just what I would say is like some lower tier cards. If these 7, 8 cards here were higher quality, not by much, but just a little bit higher quality, this deck would have trophied easily. But our core is really good, and we saw a lot of these cards. I talk often about seeing like the bottom 25% of your deck, like the weakest set of your deck. This draft, I feel like we saw a lot of our like kind of top middle area of our deck. We saw like Pylanar multiple times, Mirror Shield Hoplite multiple times. But yeah, really fun one. I love this set. I might squeeze one more draft into this. Honestly, let me know in the comments if you want me to try and squeeze one more in before it rotates. I'm not sure exactly when it leaves, so there might be time when this goes live for you to let me know. But also, this is just a really fun set, and if you've never got a chance to play it, I really recommend trying it, either in paper or if it ever comes back on Arena. Thank you so much for watching. As a reminder, I'm a small channel. I'd really appreciate if you subscribed. We just eclipsed 100, and I'm marching my way towards 250. If you want to make my day, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this far, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.